Hi everybody, it's Susan here with Pumpkin Hill Stampers. I have a stamping show and tell to share with you today. We're going to be making this poinsettia card. We're going to be using a stamp from the Rooted in Nature stamp set. This leaf here, repeated multiple times. I'm borrowing the Sentiment Merry Christmas from the Half Full stamp set, but I'm sure you have holiday stamps that you like, so I'm sure you can pull one out, or if you really like that set, go ahead and get it. And then I'm using the Tin Tile New Dynamic Embossing folder to do the background. Okay, so let me go ahead and show you how I put this card together. We have a thick Whisper White card base. Then I have a piece of thick Whisper White, very vanilla. It's all very vanilla. So, very vanilla card base, very vanilla piece that we're going to do the embossing on. So now I've already done that in the Big Shop, but I wanted to show you the folder. It has this straight line, alright, or a straight edge drawn on there. So when you put your card stock in, if you line it up along that line and run it to your Big Shot, you're sure to get your pattern on there correctly. So that's kind of a little helper in that. Okay, so we are there with 2 layers. Now I'm going to add an embellishment of this very vanilla lace trim, and I'm going to do 2 rows of it. So I'm going to snip off 2 lengths. And the nice thing about this trim is that it has 2 different edges. One's a finished scallop edge and one is like a fringy edge. So I'm going to turn one over so that my edges will be the same on the top and the bottom. So let's go ahead and adhere those onto our card. So I'm just going to flip this one over. I'm going to put some snail along my edge, just like that. Then I'm going to take one piece and I'm going to wrap it and tack it on the back into that snail. And then put the other piece on. Tack that along the back and that snail as well. Now, this ribbon is a little bit stretchy and I don't exactly trust it to stay with that snail in the back, so I am using a little bit of Scotch tape on each end to make sure it's going to stay secure. Okay, now we're going to add dimensionals and pop that up on the face of our card. So get all these little backers off. There we go. Alright, so I flip this over. That's straight. There we go. I'll put that on the face of my card. Now that alone is a great card starter. You could really use that for any card throughout the year. But now we're going to dress it up for the holidays. So I decided I was going to stamp my leaves and poinsettia flowers on watercolor paper because it's thicker and it's got some texture to it. And then also, if you wanted to go in, depending on how inky your stamp sets are, if you wanted to go in and blend some of that color around, you could go back with a blend pen or the aqua painter and you could change up your leaves a little bit. So I'm just going to stamp 6 red leaves. And then I'm going to clean my stamp, and then I'm going to do 3 green leaves. Now, if you have the dies that coordinate with the set, you can run it through your Big Shot and die cut those leaves. Now there are 9 of them, so obviously it's going to take you some time, but they do fit. I opted to cut them with my paper snips. So depending on how many cards that you're making and how fast you want to get it done, but these are a pretty easy shape, so I just trimmed them out with my paper snips. Okay, so I'm going to set those aside. One tip is because it's watercolor paper, make sure your ink is really dry before you start working with it to build the flower. Okay, so I'm going to stick all of these on some glue dots. I do this often, kind of creates them as easy to apply stickers and makes our project nice and simple. So I'm going to take the first one, and I'm just going to build my flower kind of half on one side, and then I'm going to turn my card over, not so far, and do half on the other side. Now I am adhering this over the top of that ribbon, and if you find that yours is a little bit loose, I'll show you what I did to kind of tack mine down. So I'm just adding some leaves in here. So if you want that a little more secure, I'm going to go back with some glue dots and just tack down the edges of my leaves where I've got some cardstock underneath, just to kind of make that a little more secure. Now to doll that up a little bit, I'm going to use these gold faceted gems. I'm just going to put them over the center like that. Easy peasy. Now I have a piece of Very Vanilla, and I'm going to stamp my Merry Christmas greeting right there. Okay, and just turn this over, add some snail, and I'm just going to slide this tag right kind of under my lace trim there on the bottom. Okay, so on the first envelope I stamped the the poinsettia leaves again, or the other option would be just to put the sentiment on the corner of your card as well. So either way, whatever way you like to do it, there you have it. So I hope you enjoyed the show and tell. Remember, the tutorial will be on next Tuesday's Show and Tell News, which comes out on Tuesday, so you can subscribe to that below. And I hope you're having some fun. This is a great way to use a non-traditional holiday set to make a holiday card. So have some fun and enjoy your stamps. Thanks everybody. Bye-bye.